Hello, viewers. Here's the Mindful Man, reading some more chapters from The Clinic by Paul G. Brett. I may try and read for longer than I've ever read before. I could not believe a paper still existed that would adopt such a tone. The editor seemed more interested in the rector's sexual orientation than in the organist's relationships. No specific names were mentioned. It was old-fashioned prejudice. It might even contravene modern legislation, but it no doubt increased the paper's circulation. What was I to do? I rang the Archdeacon and asked if he was aware of the matter. He had not seen the paper, but would make enquiries at once, if I would send him a copy of the article, which I asked Brenda to do. That having been adequately dealt with for the time being, I turned to the next matter on my heavily laden desk. The vicar of another parish in the more urban part of the diocese had been arrested by the police on suspicion of fraud. The churchwardens who counted the collection and entered the figure in the book each week had become aware that the sums received did not tally with those stated in the annual accounts. At first they had assumed they had not added it all up correctly, but the discrepancy had occurred again the following year and had grown considerably in size. The treasurer kept the accounts in a shoebox on his sideboard, and refused to allow anyone to look at them, resenting the implied criticism of his stewardship. By now he had been taken into hospital, and showed no sign of coming out. And the churchwardens had gone into the house and taken the shoebox away with them. The upshot was, so I read in the rural dean's letter, that some 15,000 was missing. The fact that the vicar made regular trips to the French Riviera with his treasurer had not caused comment up to that point, for it was thought that his family had money and it was assumed they had helped him out. Now rumours were rife. Had these holidays been paid for out of church funds? I asked Brenda to phone him to get him to come and see me at once and explain himself, and in the meantime to find out as much as she could about the fellow. Then there were all the papers for the October meeting of the House of Bishops in London. There were pages and pages of the stuff, somewhat portentously drafted, some of it colour-coded and marked restricted or strictly confidential. I was just putting them aside for another occasion when Frederica came into the study with a worried look. "Darling," she said, "I want to talk to you about the children. We had 4 children. Lucy was our eldest and my favourite in a way, though I shouldn't admit it. She was strong-willed if rather emotional young woman, if ever there was one, with dark hair and flashing brown eyes like her mother. She had studied at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama and had become a professional cellist in a modern orchestra. She was the most animated of our girls and particularly enjoyed, I recalled, our regular trips to Glyndebourne. It was a pleasure to take her, indeed all of them. Rachel had looked stunning last time we went. She'd put her blonde hair up, she had quite different colouring from the rest of us, and I could see she would have a devastating effect on any young men who came her way. What's the matter with them, my dear? I said, a shade irritated at the interruption. Lucy wants to bring Hugo for the weekend. Oh, I'm so glad. Why is that a problem? Well, you know, they've only been married for a couple of years, and they don't come to see us very often. And living in Manchester makes it so hard for us to get to know them properly. And Rachel has told me they're always quarrelling. You don't think their relationship might be under strain, do you? It would be dreadful if they broke up, and so soon. What would the diocese think? You're such a supporter of marriage, aren't you? And I spoke about it at the Mothers' Union conference, you remember, for better or worse. For richer, for poorer, you know. You may be right, Frika, but I'm afraid I can't give time to it just now. I have, as you see, a great deal of work to attend to this morning, and I must get on. Brenda and Joan, a new colleague, are waiting for it. We can talk about it later. Well, this evening then, she said firmly, and went out of the room. The weather was dreadful that afternoon, and I could see no attraction in trying to visit anyone. The clergy would hardly wish to see me coming up the drive in the pouring rain and trampling mud into their houses, and the garden could wait for another day. In any case, I had a part-time gardener to do the heavy work in this new post. I turned therefore to the pile of papers provided for me by department in Church House and began to delve into the latest developments in medical ethics. On Friday afternoon, Lucy arrived with Hugo, and it was as if a bomb had hit his house. She was full of life. It brought our ancient country mansion very abruptly into the 21st century. Papa, she said, she always called me that, though the others didn't. We were sitting in the morning room before lunch the following day. You won't believe what's happened. Try me, I said, wondering what was coming. Felicity has invited me to join her on their yacht and go over to Brittany. It's 36 feet long. Don't you think that'll be absolutely brilliant? Felicity, yes, you know, my friend from college. Oh, yes, I do remember, now you mention it. Didn't she come to us for the party? Of course she did, and she's married such a well-off bloke. How exciting for you, said Frederica. Don't you think they're lucky, dear, a yacht? But I didn't have time to reply. Lucy was in full steam. Oh, Hugo's not coming, it's only me. There's not room for him. Just Robbie and Felicity and me and 3 other girls. We're going next Friday. I can't wait. She bounced up and down in the chair with excitement, as if she were sea-born already. You've never been sailing before? Oh, it's absolutely wonderful, Mama. Out there on the ocean with nothing but the stars above and red and green lights on the horizon from the big boats. I can't wait to do the dog watch. I think that's what they call it. They've been there umpteen times before. We'll all do the cooking and go on shore to eat It'll be such fun. She was clearly very excited about the prospect. And what do you think about this, Hugo? I asked. Ashley said very politely, I don't envy them. I get seasick myself. And being cooped up in what's not much more than half a caravan is not my idea of fun. Yes, I said, agreeing with him. And what is your idea of fun, if I may ask? Oh, well. Mama and Papa, there's more. Hugo's got a new job. It's in London. I meant to tell you, but we're moving there to Wimbledon. Isn't it fantastic? That's the next chapter coming up from Paul G. Brett, The Clinic, on Amazon KDP. Hope I read it okay. I'm getting out of breath now.